It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome. It's the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. How do we do that? We ask you to do a little bit of work. Go to our website and click the Contact Us button. Write us a note about what's going on in your financial life. And if you'd like to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. Now, while you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday, which is a great warm-up for this program. Okay, let's get the show started. We're talking to David from Ohio. Hello, David. How are you?
Hi, Jill. Hi, Mark. How you doing?
We're doing well. What's up for you?
We're just struggling through the middle of life here in our 40s and trying to figure out whether some inheritance can help us out.
Struggling? I don't like struggling. I'm sorry to hear that. So you've just inherited some money, so someone passed away. I'm sorry about that. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. The we, I imagine, is a spouse also?
Yep. Me and my wife. No kids.
Okay. And how old are you guys?
I'm 48. She's 47.
Okay. And you're both working full-time?
Yes.
How much do you guys earn together?
Around 190.
Amazing. And you're using your workplace retirement plans?
Yes.
Tell us how much money you've salted away in those plans.
In the retirement accounts, I've got 1.4.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Struggling.
Yeah. I'm a millionaire. Struggling as a millionaire.
That's mixed between a Roth 401k and a traditional 401k.
Is it equal or one more than the other?
There's about 800 in the traditional. The balance is in the Roth 401k.
That's great. Amazing. Fantastic. What else you got?
My wife's 401k is $59,000. She's a teacher.
Okay. Oh, she is, huh? Does she get a pension?
She does not. It's early childhood, so she works for a company, not for like a school district.
I always find that so disheartening. Like, okay, really? Can't anybody who touches a child or an older person get a pension? That would seem very fair to me. But that's just me. I digress. Okay, yeah. So she's got 59. You got 1.4. Any money in a brokerage account?
Yeah, about 380.
Does that include the inheritance you just received?
Yes, some of it is in a brokerage. The other is in an IRA.
Oh, okay. So when you gave me the 1.4 million, did that include the inherited IRA?
No.
Okay. So the brokerage has 380. What's in the inherited IRA?
330.
Oh, that's a lot of money. Okay. And did this just happen? In other words, are you going to be subject to having to take that money out over the next 10 years?
Yeah. So we took the last remaining RMD from my parents, my mother, last year. She died last year. So this year's the first year we're going to have to take our own RMD over the next 10 years.
Got it. Okay. So now my next question for you is, do you guys own your home?
It's not paid off, but there's only about $30,000 left.
What's it worth?
$260, $270.
You guys want to stay there? You like where you are?
We'll probably end up moving, but roughly the same size and price of house, maybe a little bit more.
Okay, so what is your game plan in terms of work? How long would you like to be able to work? Like, what do you think is even, I understand you got an inheritance, so that might have changed it a little bit, but what's your hope in terms of work? Well,
I was kind of hoping that this might be my last year.
What?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with yourself? You're so young.
I know.
Come on.
It's one of those things. I've got 25 years with the same company that I started with when I graduated college, and I'd like to. I mean, they've been good to me, but it's getting more and more, conglomerated and all that kind of stuff. And the stress is high, and I want to get out of it. I'd rather spend time doing things that I have ignored for the past 2 decades.
Okay, I get that. So let me ask you a question. If you were to retire at the end of this year And would your wife keep working?
Yes.
So she would be 50 a year. Okay. And would you do anything like part-time? Would you do something? Do you have a skill that would be easily transferable somewhere else where you wouldn't have to work quite as hard? What do you think?
I'd find something. My goal was to do something that maybe would get me anywhere from 20 to 30 grand a year just to help offset expenses.
Okay, great. But she would be able to you'd be able to get her health insurance, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay, that's important. You will not be entitled to a pension either, right?
I have a small one at 55. I'll get $3,700 a year.
Oh, I'm so excited that it's about to write month, and that wouldn't be so small.
No.
Okay, so it's a coffee budget. What about if you're like looking ahead and, I know you don't have kids, so what about the amount of spending you're doing now? Can we assume you'll spend the same amount of money going forward?
The plan would be for the next 10 years or so until I hit 59 and a half that we'll spend around $60,000 to $65,000 a year.
So what you're hoping, just so I'm framing this the right way, is that between you and your wife, and, obviously we're going to take some money out of that inherited IRA, right? So we're going to take some money out of that. So let's say your wife's income, your part-time or other income, plus the inherited IRA for the next 10 years, you're going to cover your expenses, right?
Yes.
Then your next idea is when you're 59 and a half, you start tapping your traditional account, right?
Correct.
You use that traditional account. You maybe even just use it up. Who cares? You're going to spend some money down. It won't matter. And then when you guys are at Social Security age, you'll both have, your Social Security income. You'll have the Roth assets. And that's kind of where we are, right?
Yep.
Okay. I can get aboard this. I mean, one thing that's interesting is of that inherited IRA, the 10-year rule doesn't have to be equal, right? It doesn't have to be equal amounts that come out of that over the next 10 years. Fine
Yes.
if it is, but you just have to get out. The nice thing is that, based on if you retire, what might be interesting is that you do drop down in tax bracket. Kind of like this usually doesn't happen, but maybe you will because you just don't have that much income, right? If you had, her 50, a 25 and a little bit more, you might be in the 12% bracket, which
Yep.
is incredible, right? Like you will have socked away money, sort of solidly in 22 and pulling money out at 12, which does not usually happen. So this sounds pretty good. The amount of money when we say 60 or 65 grand a year, of course, we have to inflate that every year. That'll be a bigger number, but ostensibly all of your assets should be growing as well. And you do have the brokerage account. And I think this works. Mark, do you think this works? I mean, oddly enough, for a guy who's 48, I'm like, I can't believe it, but I think it works.
Well, it works because they have money saved. Even before the inheritance, they have money saved. And they don't spend a lot of money. And, the wife's going to keep working and David's going to do something. So it's not like he's going from what he's making now to zero. So, yeah, I do think it works.
It's amazing. If you've got a financial question or you're wrestling with a big decision, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back to the Jill on Money Show, where we are celebrating love this Valentine's weekend by tackling your financial issues. And why is this an act of love? Because if we deal with this and we take care of it, then you can get down to the good stuff, like showing your love to whoever matters to you in your life. You don't have to absolutely make yourself crazy about whatever's going on in your financial life. So if there's something going on and you need some assistance, a little coaching or mentoring, maybe a little kick in the tush, we are here to help. Both Mark and I are certified financial planners, and we love talking to you about whatever you want to accomplish, not what we want to accomplish for you. So get in touch with us by going to our website, jillonmoney.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there is a Contact Us button. When you click that button, a form will pop up. You complete the form, tell us what's going on. If you want to join us live, just check the box, and Mark will do everything else. Now, while you're on the website, I encourage you to check out our service called Jill on Money Live. This is our subscription service where you pay $45 for the next 12 months, and you get 4 webinars, the back catalog of all the webinars that have taken place, as well as bonus audio and video content. Again, all for $45. And our upcoming webinar is just around the corner on Thursday, February 26th with the amazing Ed Slott. He's a CPA by training. He's an expert in IRAs, Roth IRAs, pretty much everything retirement planning. But you can only join that webinar if you are a member of Jill on Money Live. Okay, enough about us, on to you. Today we have a recidivist listener who's coming on the air, but he's coming on for something completely different. So Seth is from Ohio. And Seth, when you came on the air with us, we were just talking before we went live with you. When you came on the air with us like 3 or 4 years ago, it was about your situation. And could you describe what happened and then give us as many compliments as possible while you do that?
I was getting married at the time. You had some fun questions about what kind of food we were serving and where we were doing it at. But most importantly, my question was around paying off the mortgage or investing. And thank gosh you provided the advice of don't pay off the house with a low interest rate, invest in the brokerage account, and proven winner the last few years. So yes. Thank you.
Yes, don't call us when the market tanks, but this is for these 4 years, it's been good advice. Okay, excellent. Now, Seth, you are joining us today for something completely different. So tell us why you are joining us today.
Yeah, and sincerely, thank you. I listened to essentially every single show. I've learned so much. So I just wanted to thank you and Mark sincerely. It's been a huge help for not only me, but like my family too. So thank you.
Well, we're very delighted to help in any way we can. So what's up for today?
Yes, calling about my 68-year-old father. He's been working for over 50 years. He is pretty hands-off. So he lost his wife, my mother, about 10 years ago. She ran all the finances. He's been working like a dog ever since. And I have some questions around essentially the umbrella question, can I retire? And we have some questions kind of underneath that and more tactically as well. But that's the big question. Can he retire?
Okay. His health is good. How is he doing in general?
He's doing great. He's in shape. He still works in the warehouse like a madman. So he's doing awesome.
Okay. So let's get into this. So Dad's 68 years old. And how much money does he earn right now?
Yeah, he earns right around $30,000 per year.
Okay. And does he have access to a pension based on that income?
He does not.
Okay, so no pension. Does he put money into a retirement plan?
He does, very small 401k currently, and he has some previous as well.
Okay, so let's do like a total. What does he have in retirement assets?
Retirement assets, he has $356,000 in a IRA. He has $35,000 in his current 401k. And then this is where it gets a little squirrely for me. He also has an annuity valued at $117,000 today.
Is that annuity from a retirement plan, or is it what we would call it a non-qualified annuity, meaning that your parents might have bought it with money that they had saved up and they plunked it into an annuity, or is it from a retirement plan? Do you know?
Yeah, contract type does state IRA. It's the Guardian Investor 2 Variable Annuity L Series.
Oh, God. Do they have to make it sound like, it's like some freaking NASA designation? Okay. Most importantly, it's an IRA. It's a variable annuity with the Guardian. When was it purchased?
Yeah, it was purchased in 2014.
Oh, good. So there's no more surrender charges.
Right.
So that's great. That's fantastic news. Not that they bought it, but whatever. It's fine. Okay. Big question. Does Dad have any debt?
He does not. Nope.
Are you helping him at all, or any siblings helping him?
No, he lives extremely frugally. His month expenses are right around $2,500 a year. Or, I'm sorry, a month.
A month.
Excuse me.
I got you. Okay. Do you have his Social Security benefit, like what he would receive?
I do. So he did. So him being 68, he did decide to take at 67,
Mm-hmm.
and that amount he's getting is 2,700 per month.
So his expenses are 2,500. He gets 2,700 from Social Security, which will be obviously inflation adjusted. And so all of that money, where is that extra money going that is coming in above his needs?
Yeah, so I'll say the 2,500 is his day to day. It does not include any major items. If he was to do any large, like major home improvements, if a car, goes out on the side of the highway, so some of that is probably not factored in. Some of those higher end non.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay. I mean, and does he travel? Does he do anything like that?
really not much. He's very simple. Doesn't spend too much at all.
Could I interest him in a nice 86-year-old lady who lives in New York? She'd love to meet him. No, I'm just kidding.
That might get him traveling a little bit.
I mean, God, help my mother find a date. Okay, so when you look ahead, is there anything on the horizon that we should be worried about, thinking about, like anything that you can imagine?
The only thing I can think of, I did ask him before, in anticipation of the call. I did ask him about his house. There's some areas that are beat up. If he were going to resell it, he may need to, spend some real dollars to update some bathroom and kitchen. So that's kind of the big question I asked him was, if you needed to sell for cash, would you be okay with that? He said he was, but he wants to remain in the home. So I think he's at that point of trying to figure out over the next couple of years, does it make sense to do some remodeling and kind of keep it up? Or does he want to downsize and maybe go condo route?
What do you think the house is worth just as is?
Yeah, as is should be around 220 to 240.
Could he buy something that he likes, like condo wise? I know not right now, but in that same range?
I think so. I think he could get something for probably around 200 in that area.
Okay, so that's great. So we don't have to worry about that. I mean, listen, I don't know if he wants to do the work just to have it anyway, to make his life nicer, to have things done, but, that's up to him. Does he have money that is in cash, CDs, bank account kind of stuff?
Yeah, he's done a really good job at that. He has $54,000 in, let's call it checking and savings.
Yep.
Then he has another $50,000 in a money market account. And myself and my sisters were pushing him as much as possible to get those dollars into the money market or high yield savings. It's been a struggle, but we've slowly converted it from $0 of his 100,000 in what you could call liquid cash assets to 50. So we're working on it.
That's great. That's amazing. Does he need a new car, anything like that?
Nope, he's good on the car front.
Okay. How much money do you think, when we talk about needs work, what would you guess needs to happen if, two things. One is to maybe just for him, like if he's going to stay in there, would he like to do some work right now?
You know what? I'm not getting a strong kind of pressing need from him. I think ultimately if he was going to sell it, he would probably need to do some work. But I think he's okay with the condition and where it's at. But if he did retire, in the next couple of months, I am curious kind of what he might go after in terms of, home improvement himself or maybe me helping him, frankly. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. We'll get back to Seth in just a moment. If you've got a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, where we are trying to help you navigate your financial journey. So part of this process involves you trying to understand where you would like to go. You might say, hey, I want to retire early, or hey, I want to throw that advanced degree out the window and start something new. Or gosh, I never really planned on leaving this house, but hey, I'm pregnant with twins and now I'm busting at the seams. Whatever it is, wherever you want to go, get in touch with us. We can help you identify the different possibilities, the different routes to get where you want to go. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. While you're on the website, check out all the content that lives there, including our 2 other shows. We've got podcasts. One is called Jill on Money. The other is called Money Watch. And we have links so that you can actually subscribe to both of them. Then you can be all Jill all the time. All right, maybe you don't want that. But anyway, it's a lot of information. It's a lot of content. And Mark does a great job of managing the website and putting it all out there for you. Okay, let's get back to Seth from Ohio, who's trying to help his dad retire. I think he is in perfect shape. Does he want to retire? Or are you like, Dad, do you have to like keep this up? Like, where is he emotionally around this decision?
Yeah, I think emotionally he's ready. It's been a long journey. He's worked over 50 years, but I think he's to the point now where he's ready to kind of dig into even more so of the grandkids sports and things like that. And he always told me that he'd be fine, if he needed to be a part-time greeter at a Home Depot or Walmart. He's completely comfortable with that too, but he's ready to kind of step down from the day-to-day grind.
Well, I'll tell you, it seems to me he's in perfect shape to be able to do this. He's healthy. He's been through a lot. He hasn't had his partner for 10 years. So I'm inclined to always make anyone who's gone through these tough times, sort of make their goal come true. So I think he's fine to be able to do this. He doesn't spend a lot of money. He's got $500,000 that's salted away in the retirement accounts, and he's got $100,000 that is available in the cash bank stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, I think he'll have to spend down some of his money. I hope he's not going to freak out about that because, at some point he'll need a car and needs to do some work. And maybe what you say to him is like, hey, Dad, maybe we'll take some money out of the retirement account to do that. And I hope he's the kind of guy who gives himself permission to spend that money. I'm not sure he's going to need it necessarily, but, he might. The annuity question is kind of an interesting one to me because let's say he retired right now. Okay. What we know could happen is that he's got this IRA account, right, with $356,000. Mm-hmm. So, the first thing that would happen is the current 401k gets rolled in there, right? So now you got, 400 something, almost 400,000 in this account. Then the question is about the annuity. Now there's 2 specific questions about the annuity. One, I asked you like, hey, when did you buy it? Because sometimes when you blow out of an annuity, you have to big charge. That will not be the case for him. I'm sure that there's no surrender. I'm not sure, but I think it's highly unlikely that 12 years later that there is still a surrender charge on this annuity. So then what you could potentially do, because it is an IRA account, you could roll that 117 into the existing IRA account. It would go from one place to the other, but there would be just an infusion of $117,000 in cash, which might be kind of cool. You're managing this, right?
Correct. Yep.
So the advantage is you will have one retirement account with $500,000 in it. That's the advantage. The other option will be to say, hey, we have this annuity. Maybe we should annuitize it. Maybe we should start the money coming in. Maybe we should just start some money, every single month coming to Dad. The only problem with that, I find, is that I think you probably could have, since he has you, I think it's good for you to have all the money in one place and you could dribble the money out to him as needed. I don't know if he's going to be the kind of guy who's like, oh my God, don't touch that account. That's for you kids. I hope he's not. But I think the upside of having it all in one place with you managing it is probably better than creating stream of income from that old annuity. Mm-hmm. So how do you think Dad will feel about having this one account with all of his retirement assets, $508,000 in one account that you're managing? Is he cool with that?
Yeah, I think he's going to be good. And kind of to go back quickly to what you said, he has told me before that he really doesn't want to touch, the retirement funds. So that's been something psychologically, I've been trying to push. Is like, hey, this is yours. This is why you worked all those years. It's yours to use. So I just need to keep continuing to kind of push on that aspect.
All right. I mean, I think that if you're managing it and you almost can make this a very easy system where he says, I need a car. And you're like, oh, okay, great. I'm going to, and you're going to have to start taking money out of these accounts anyway. I'm sure I don't know if he does realize this, but one of the things you can say is like, hey, Dad, you're going to be subject to this thing called required minimum distributions. You should explain to him that money's going to have to start coming out of the account no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
we're just going to want to slowly but surely dribble that money out. And he can start now if you need it. If you don't need it, like by the time he turns 75, he's going to be forced to take money out. So you can say that's just an IRS rule. That's not a me rule. That's the government saying you got to take money out. So some of this is going to kind of force his hand a little bit, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, how are you managing the money? You have it in a like a place with index funds or exchange traded funds?
Yeah, nice kind of balance. It's essentially a 50-50 right now with stocks and bonds. So
Perfect. He's got his estate documents done?
he does. He has executor, medical, all that good information. He's good to go.
What about on the checking, savings, and the money market account? Are those just individually in Dad's name?
Correct. Yep.
You may want to make that a transfer on death account, which essentially means that upon his death, that the account will automatically get transferred to you and your siblings. And that will make sure that it kind of it's sort of like a nice way to sidestep probating that asset.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So you just ask the bank, can we do this, make this a transfer on death account? And I think otherwise it sounds great. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your father. Aren't you guys lucky to have each other?
That's for sure.
Right?
Goes both ways. Yep.
And congratulations on not paying off your mortgage.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Are you trying to help your parents out? Are you trying to help your adult kids out? Get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. You're listening to Jill on Money.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, where we are trying to take the mystery out of your financial life. Now, remember, this is a program that is about money, but it's not boring and it's not scary. It attempts to have a little bit of a sense of humor as we approach whatever it is that concerns you and your financial life. One thing Mark and I always try to do is we try to make this show a no jargon, no judgment zone. And that means that no matter how much you think you've screwed up your financial life, don't worry. Nobody here cares. And if you feel like you're behind, you should have done better, we are not in the business of wagging our fingers at you. We are trying to meet you where you are and get you where you want to go. And isn't that all that is necessary here? You don't have to do something that someone else wants. It's what you want. So if you think that you would benefit from chatting with us, all you need to do is go to our website. It's JillOnMoney.com. JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, which is always in the upper right-hand corner, no matter where you navigate on the website. And when you do that, a form will pop up. That's the email that we receive. And if you think you're kind of shy, you don't want to join us on the air live, that's okay. Then just give us a lot of detail. But if you do want to join us live, make sure you check the box. Mark will arrange to get you on with us. While you're on the website, you can check out all of the content that lives there, including our free weekly newsletter, our blog, videos, resources, all there for free. Okay, next up, here is an email from Andrew, who says, I've heard it said to have a bridge account of 2 to 5 years of expenses before entering into retirement to help. 2 to 5, that's a lot. I would say 2 to 3, maybe. That this would smooth out any downturns in the market. I forget specifically your recommendation for the number of years. My question is more about how many years should be held in what type of accounts. So my recommendation is 2 to 3 years. 3 if you're really freaked out about risk. But it would be very odd if we went into a 3-year downward market. So I'm saying 2 to 3. The question is, should all the money be held in a money market CD or maybe a year or two held at the bank and the rest in a brokerage? We've been contributing to Roth 401ks for the last few years, and we've been converting money from traditional to Roth. At some point soon, I assume we should stop contributing and converting just to keep the cash in the bridge account. My wife and I are 58 and 60. We're looking to retire in a couple of years. Yeah, so I think 2 to 3 years is fine. And yeah, I like it in boring bank money market CD. If it's 3 years, maybe I would keep 2 years worth in cash and the 1 year in brokerage. But as you get closer to needing the money, then I think you just kind of keep that money at a lower risk level. So I hope that helps. 2 to 5 years. 5 years, that'd be rough, huh, Mark? Tim wants to know, can he retire next year? He'll be 57 in 2027. So right now he's got a couple of expenses that he's saying that he has for a little bit, like an interim. So they spend $8,000 a month, he and his wife, but then he's got money that he's got to pay for his kids' college for the next 4 years, another $4,000 a month, and then he's going to have to pay health care for his wife, who's 62, and himself. So let's just go through this. The bottom line is he's got a house that's worth $1.4 million, no mortgage. He's got money that is in a traditional 401k, $1.1 million, and he'll be able to trigger his rule of 55 for that money. He's got 100 in a Roth IRA, 300 inherited IRA, and he's already starting to take distributions from that. $300,000 in investments that are yielding 8% return. I don't know what that is. Love to see what that is. Emergency fund, 40 grand, 2 different rental properties, bringing in a net of around $7,000 a month. Salary, $250, and they'll collect some money at Social Security. So can he retire next year? What do we think, Mark? I think he probably can do this.
Well, before I saw the rental, that was a hard no.
Yeah, I see that rental. That the rental property is $7,000 a month. Okay, he's got that money coming in, even though he's really young and he does have real expenses for the next bunch of years. I think what I would do is I would make sure. I don't know what this hard money loan investments. I have no idea what that $300,000 is, but I'll tell you what. Right now, I'd make sure that I took 100 grand out of that. I would reduce that to 200, pay whatever tax I had to do, and make sure that I have my kids' college education handled. So then we've got the extra money for healthcare for a while. I don't know if he's going to have healthcare or not, but I guess with the rental properties, it kind of works.
It's
closed. Young though, man. He's young.
He's got $4,000 per month for the next 4 years for college.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
I don't know why you would do that and pay that out of cash flow. I don't know why you wouldn't just blow out of whatever you have. See, this is one of those things where I think I'm a simpleton, to be honest with you. He's got 300 grand that's invested. We know that he is going to have, $200,000 of college costs. I would be blowing out of that investment fund, paying whatever amount of money I had to in taxes, pop that money in a 529 and not make this all part of my cash flow. That $4,000 a month. I think that's crazy. And I think it's hard to manage it. And I don't really understand the money, the healthcare right now and what he's paying and what he will pay. So I think it's possible. I'm just not sure it's the wisest thing. And I also would like to know, is there any chance you're going to maybe work part-time? You're so young. I think you can probably do it based on what you wrote us, but I am not sure it makes sense I'm just not sure it makes sense. How about that? If you'd like to get in touch with us, all you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, where we are taking your financial questions. Now, sometimes they're quite personal, and I get that. So if you decide you want to join us on the air live, we're happy to change your name. Don't worry. We don't want to expose you. And if you're going to send us an email, you don't want to join us on the air, please give us a lot of details so we don't have to say, oh, can you get back to us with that information? But if you just have a general question, then that's fine. We'd love to hear from you. Sometimes you see something in the headlines, you want to know what's what. Feel free to reach out to us. That is what Michael did, who writes, "Why have precious metals soared to astronomical highs in such a short period of time? Interest rates aren't terribly high. Inflation is relatively low. The last time gold soared like this was in the early 80s when interest rates were at 15 or 16%. What gives?" Well, Michael, this is a perfect question for me because my first job on Wall Street was as a commodities trader, a gold, silver, and copper options trader. So you're spot on in trying to understand what's going on. I think this is less about inflation or the value of the dollar, and at its heart, the gold trade is literally about an Armageddon trade, meaning I want to own a little piece of something that acts very differently than every other asset I own. And if something really bad were to happen in the world and to the financial system, I know that I could get my hands on this gold. And I think the speed of the ascent has more to do with the ability of people to quickly access financial markets and buy an exchange-traded fund like GLD and push these asset levels ever higher, kind of like the meme stock craze. That's why so often on this program, when people have asked me over the last 15 years that we've had this show, should I buy gold or silver or any basket of metals, I would always say, sure, 2-3%, that's about it. But it is generally seen as almost like this insurance trade. Okay, if you've got a question about something wacky in the financial markets, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and check the box. Mark will arrange to get you on with us. While you're on the website, you can check out all of the content that lives there, including our free weekly newsletter, our blog, videos, resources, all there for free. Jill on Money will be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money Show, and we know you've got financial questions because always during tax season, there's something that comes up that you weren't quite sure about, and this is a perfect opportunity to get in touch with us. Just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us on the air live, just check the box. And speaking of tax season, we have our upcoming webinar that is focused on this amazingly crazy tax season with all the changes to the tax code. We have superstar CPA and IRA, Roth IRA expert Ed Slott. He will be with us on Thursday, February 26th, and you can join us by subscribing to Jill on Money Live for $45. You'll get the Ed Slott webinar, 3 more after that, the back catalog of all the webinars we've conducted, bonus audio, video content, $45 for the next 12 months. Wow, that's amazing. Now, if you just want to buy the single Ed Slott webinar after it has already taken place, you can plunk down $15 and get access to that as well. So check it out. Jill on Money Live is how you can subscribe. Okay, let's start this hour. Here is an email from Brian, who writes, "Hi, Jill. I love listening to all of your shows. You give the best no-nonsense answers to such a wide range of questions." That's me, Mark. No-nonsense Schlesinger. "My question is," says Brian, "at what age do you think I'll be able to retire? I know it's pretty vague, but my goal is around 56-ish. I'm open. I think I maybe even prefer to continue working in some sort of part-time capacity or by starting a small service-based solo operator business where I take on as much work or as I want. So here's the information. I'm 49 years old. I'm married. I've got 3 kids, 16, 13, and 9, living in New England. We've got a single income. My wife is 43, and she has been a stay-at-home mom since 2010. I'm a managing partner of a successful small business. I have 20% ownership. My salary is about $175,000 a year, And our company has profit sharing that has a defined benefit plan. Listen to this. 21 grand is what he's putting into his traditional 401k, 7 grand into a Roth IRA, company contributions. There are some rules. He mentioned something called a safe harbor. That's basically when you have a bunch of highly compensated people and they limit the amount of money they'll put in for those highly compensated people. So what he's saying is that in addition to his 21 grand a year into this 401k, there's a company defined contribution plan. He gets about 20 grand a year from that. Defined benefit contribution credit last 2 years, it has been $60,000 a year. Holy smokes. Okay. He's got 700 grand. Let me tally this up a little bit better. It's about 850 in traditional assets, 60 in a Roth, 250 in a brokerage. He's got $264,000 in the defined benefit plan, which is a cash balance. He's got earnings in the business, his share, $136,000. House is worth 600 grand, 200 grand on the mortgage. High yield savings account, 120. 529 plans for each child are 30 grand. Total is 103. That seems kind of shy on the needs there, because let me just go back here. 16, 13, 9. That's not going to go very far. Okay. Business value is objective. Oh boy, partners and I have had an accountant give us a valuation that gives my share, that makes my share worth $800,000. Social Security benefit, $3,800. Not sure about my wife's. She only has about 10 years, probably half of his. Anyway, he feels burnt out and he's thinking maybe he'd sell out in 2032, which would be 56 years old. That would be the year my oldest finishes college. The middle will have 2 years to complete, and the youngest still 3 years from starting. Oh, here we go. My understanding is the FAFSA looks at the previous 2 years' income for need. So this large amount of income for 1 year wouldn't affect my oldest. It may affect the middle and would be soon enough to not affect the youngest. I could be wrong. We haven't gotten too deep in college planning, but a business sale in a year where FAFSA is analyzing our income would cost us tens of thousands of dollars. Our goal is to be able to help our children attend college and exit without being saddled with extreme debt. But we do not intend on funding the entire bill. Spending about 10 grand a month. 56, I know, seems early for retirement, especially because my youngest will only be 16. But where might I stand at that point? Is this remotely possible? How much would I need to earn at that rate working part-time to make this plan work? My intention would be to enter the health exchange unless the part-time work or business would offer something better. And that could add to the 10 grand a month. Yes, let's make that 12 grand a month just for planning purposes. And that's me talking here. So, because you have kids and there's a lot of people depending on you having health insurance. My wife would be also open to some part-time income at some point. I look forward to hearing your response, and I hope to hear from you about my situation. Thank you for what you do. You help so many see a clearer picture of their future lives. Mark, get on that microphone, mister, and let's find out about Brian from New England and whether this is all possible. It's fascinating because of that chunk of money from the business. That does help him. And of course, the defined benefit plan is very helpful. I would follow up if he were on with us, and I wish you came on the air with us. I would really want to know how that defined benefit works. If it's just a cash balance plan and we know how to grow it, that's easy. It's growing at a 5% fixed return. But I wonder if there's any monthly income choice on that. What do you think about Brian's goals here, Mark?
Very, very close. Probably too close for comfort. I mean, where he's at right now for the next 7 years, based on what he's saving, and this, this is all pre-tax.
Yeah,
probably going to have around, he'll have $4 million, maybe a little more. So 10 grand a month at 56, very close. But if they're both willing to work part time, they could figure out a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would say, Brian. I think that there is some way that you can cobble together a plan. I think that the areas that pop out to me are that, 12 grand a month is a lot of money, and a lot of the money that you have is going to be taxed. So even when if you hear 4 million from Mark, like That's pre-tax. We got to pay tax on it. That's not actually enough money. So I think what you guys need to really consider is, would you rather work in this company, which you're a part owner of, and kind of stretch it into another couple of years beyond that? So be full-time till, say, 58, 59. Or would you rather call it quits and really put the pressure on yourselves to come up with some part-time income that will cover most of the 12 grand a month that you need? Personally, because I'm a wimp and Mark may have a different opinion, I would rather work a little bit longer, just me, because I feel like that'll help build up the pension, that gets you covered for health care, and it takes the pressure off having to find part-time income. And by the way, your wife hasn't worked in 15 years. It's going to be so easy for her to just go get a job. I don't know. Maybe, but maybe not. If you've got a financial question, just give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here answering your financial questions. If you have one, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there is a Contact Us button. When you press that button, a form will pop up, and that is the email that we receive. If you'd like to join us live on the program, we'd love that too. All you need to do is check the box, and Mark will do everything else. Now, while you're on the website, you should check out all the content that lives there. There's a bunch of free stuff. We've got our free weekly newsletter, comes out every Friday, and that weekly newsletter will entitle you to get our blog posts. There are also 2 different podcasts that we have, the Jill on Money Show, Monday through Friday, and then Money Watch on the weekends. We've got videos, we've got resources, and of course, if you've missed any part of this program, you can just click the radio tab and catch up. Okay, next up, let's get to an email. This is from Don. Don says he's 43 years old. He's single. He's got no kids. He's self-employed. He contributes $80,000 to $100,000 a year into his investments. Holy smokes. So, he's 43 and he's like, I want to retire like in the next 5 years. No debt, a very reasonable mortgage at 2.75%. And he's got a house that's worth, I don't know, it's probably 900 grand, and he's got about a $400,000 note that's left. He might sell this house and move somewhere else and get all of the money out of this in terms of the equity. Meanwhile, I could not give up a 2.75% mortgage in my whole life, I don't think. Okay, here's what he's got. 366 in a 401k, 173 grand in S&P exchange traded funds, 166 grand individual stocks, some money in an IRA and a Robinhood account, and a whole bunch of cash, 190 grand in crypto. He's got about $1.1 million. He didn't give us one piece of information, right, Mark? How much do you think this guy spends? He is investing $80,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, I'm guessing he spends very, very little, and that's really the only way it's going to work for him.
Yeah. I want to know what your expenses are, and then I want to know whether you would work part-time. This is going to be like the young people want to retire episode. We're going to call this episode Pipe Dreams and Real Dreams or something like that. All right. Clint says that he and his wife make over the contribution limit for Roth IRAs. Oh, I have my Ed Slot slides here that I can look this up, Mark. So the Roth IRA contribution limit is phased out this year if you're married filing jointly at $252,000, meaning you cannot use a Roth IRA and contribute to that. You might be able to do a backdoor Roth, but you can't do a straight up Roth contribution. Question from Clint is, am I still able to contribute to a traditional IRA while contributing to my work 401k? Yes. Okay, wait a second. You can do both. You can do what is called a backdoor Roth with an asterisk. If you don't have a traditional IRA account floating around, the way it would work is you'd open up an IRA account. You'd put in, let's see, how old is he? Does he say? No. But let's pretend that he is, shall we give him, let's say he's under the age of 50. So for this year, you would open up a IRA account, and this is a non-deductible IRA. You would put $7,500 into the account and immediately then transfer it into a Roth IRA. That's why they call it a backdoor. It's like, whoops, I get to go in through the back door. A non-deductible IRA then turns into a Roth IRA. However, and I can't say this enough, you absolutely, positively must do this only if there is not another IRA account that's out there. Okay. So if there is, you can roll all that old IRA money into your current 401k. One of the things that he said, I've never heard anyone mention going from maxing out a 401k to then the traditional IRA. Don't do the traditional IRA. You got a bunch of money that's already in a traditional asset, the 401k. Let's get you to Roth.
He's basically saying, can I max out my 401k and then contribute to a traditional IRA? Yeah, you can, but I wouldn't. I really see no reason anymore to use a traditional IRA.
It would be a certain circumstance, so not for everybody.
Yeah, and also check, if you're looking to get Roth money, check if your 401k has a Roth option.
Yes, that's right. And they more and more are doing this, Mark. This is definitely the case. Here is a question from N, who asks, my question relates to a Roth thrift savings plan for my husband. I am turning 56 this year and took the federal government's early retirement option last September. My husband is a few years younger. He's 51 years old. He continues to work full time. We've saved a good amount of money in our thrift savings plan accounts, with most of it going traditional. We've been thinking about doing Roth conversions, now allowed within the TSP. But I wonder if we should just have all of his contributions go to Roth. And is that sufficient to mitigate the tax cliff we will encounter when we have to take required minimum distributions? He maxes out on his contributions. We're in the 24% bracket. Thank you for your show. I've been enjoying listening now that I'm retired. All right. Okay, Mark, I'm going all in on new money, absolutely positively going into the Roth. I don't know about the conversions. What do you think about converting? We don't really know about their other money, but I have a good sense that they're two government employees. That means they're both going to have pensions. And that means they're going to be probably not leaving that 24% bracket. So it would be great to convert some of the money, but I don't know if they have the assets to pay for it. What do you think?
Yeah, without knowing that info, it's hard to say. But I mean, it's definitely appealing if they can pull it off and they have the assets to pay the tax bill. But as far as switching over to Roth, yeah, 100%. Your husband's 51. If he's going to be working for a few more years, there's no reason to do any more pre-tax.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last question. This is from Sarah. She writes, hello, Jill and Mark. We are making a plan to fund our child's college education. We are 50 and 52 years old. We work full time. Our child is at a top institution that is very pricey. We saved a good amount of money in her 529. It's only going to cover those first 2 years. In making a plan to pay for the second half of college, it looks like we could have a mix of loans. I'm just trying to figure out the best approach. Okay, so Sarah says, I have over $1 million in my 401k. Does it make sense to take a $50,000 loan from there? Our house is paid off, so we could also do a home equity line of credit. I have a great credit score, so does a private education loan make sense? Again, she's covered for the first 2 years, and I'm trying to plan for 2027. Basically, a lot of our wealth is tied up in 401k accounts and the house. All right, it's because they're 50 and 52. I mean, I don't know how much we really have to raise. My guess is when she said a top institution, like I have to say with that sarcasm, and it's pricey. So what do you think? It's probably 80 grand a year. So she needs 106. Let's say she needs 150 grand. Should she take a $50,000 loan from the 401k and then do a $100,000 HELOC? What do you think, Mark?
I'm inclined to say no. I don't know a lot of the other details, but since they have so much money in their 401ks, I'm just going to assume, and they're over the age of 50. So I'm going to assume they're maxing out and maybe doing the catch-up contribution. If that's a case, between the two of them, that's probably, 60 grand a year right there. I would pause your retirement contributions for 2 years.
Just up to the match.
Just up to the match for 2 years. Put that money towards college and probably take out what will end up being a pretty manageable loan for the rest.
Yeah. I mean, and the loan doesn't have to be a parent loan. I would rather use the asset you have, honestly. So I love that idea of just like, hold on, let's like take a breath, pull back on our contributions, gather that money up, put it aside. And then, as you have that money, just shovel it into the 529. Keep pumping that up. That is the best place to put that money, even if she's in college already, even if you just have to keep it in a money market. So it doesn't have to be taxed. So I think that's the game plan. If you're trying to work through a financial question, don't do it on your own. We'd love to help you out. Both Mark and I are certified financial planners. We love this stuff. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, where we are answering your financial questions. If you've got one, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's get to an email. This is from Double K, who says, in the subject, the majority of those wanting to retire don't see light at the end of the tunnel. Jill, thank you for doing what you do. My husband and I, both baby boomers, took early outs at 53 and 55 when it was offered, because how much is enough? We needed to assist many close relatives, unfortunately, at the end of their lives. We honestly felt the way it all just fell into place. It was meant to be. Fortunately, we both have pensions and Social Security and had nice investments. However, the last 20 years or so of retirement have seen many ups and downs in the economy. Luckily, we own our home, and our child was through his education. We're doing fine and feel blessed every day. We also save $2,500 a month besides going on a nice, small, and large vacation. So we're fine. But what am I writing about? So many people in the U.S. don't have the income or the investments that many of your listeners do. It sounds like the East and West Coast people on your show are hugely rich. What about the other 75% or more of the society? They scrape along, working as many jobs as they can in hopes of paying their bills, their car and their house, food and medical insurance. When they do have extra money, how do they begin to invest correctly? Does it take $100 or $500 or $1,000 to begin? I've heard this story so often that it makes me very sad. Is there any hope for those truly hardworking, tax-paying Americans who love this country but feel like investing is a pipe dream? Well, look, I know we got some rich people who listen, but sometimes we talk to people who don't have as much money and they have lives that they can afford. And in fact, Mark, I would say that most recently we've been hearing from a lot of those people who have a very low cost of living. And sometimes they live in low cost of living places and they are able to realize their retirement goals. Now, I don't think anyone is going to suggest that you could retire early at 53 and 55 unless you had a pension. So lucky for you. So, I think that people are chipping away. They're doing a better job. I do think the younger generation is investing earlier and more than older generations do. I don't know. I don't know how to, make sense of what, I don't think it's 75%, but I do think that a lot of people who are, say let's call it the top 20% are doing fine. I think the bottom 20 or 30% are going to rely on the social safety nets that are in place. And everyone in the middle, depending on how much money you can afford to put away and the choices you make in your life and whether you think it's important to put your kids through school or save for retirement, you make different choices. Mark, am I missing the boat?
You're not missing a boat. And I also say that a lot of times with our, I'm doing air quotes, rich listeners, when you get the backstory, and oftentimes we get the backstory off the air, so not all the time you guys get to hear it, but it's always a common theme. A lot of times people, they weren't making a gazillion dollars when they first started in their careers, but they all started saving early on, even if it was just $100 a paycheck. They all started early, and that's the key, because once you do that, that's when the compound interest kicks into gear.
Yes, man. Yes, man. That's exactly right. So listen, if you're out there and you feel like you're struggling, you're probably not listening to this podcast. So let's also be clear that there is a funnel that we are appealing to people who probably have a few bucks and are interested in their finances. But if you're really struggling and you want to know how to start investing, we're happy to hold your hand and take the first step. For most people, it's putting money into a retirement plan, getting started early, and a little bit at a time. All right, this is a message from Anne, who writes, "Hi, Jill and Mark. I'm recently divorced and the home will be sold. I'm expecting to receive about $400,000 to $500,000 when the sale is complete. I have 2 teenagers, a Roth with $100,000, $20,000 in credit card debt, no other assets, and a full-time job earning $60,000 a year. Hey, double K. How about this? This is like a regular person, right? My question is what to do with the $500,000. Pay off the debt? Should I buy a home outright? I'm pre-approved for a $400,000 house. No other money coming in other than wages. No child support, no alimony. Okay. Now, this is a great tee up, Mark, because it helps with the previous question, right? Okay. So, Anne, number one, when you get that money, first thing you're going to do is you are going to start thinking about the big 3. The big 3 is no consumer debt, an emergency reserve fund that can cover you for 6 months, maybe 12 months. And 3 would be putting money into a retirement account. So let's pretend you got $400,000, or let's say 500, because I like more is better for you. So we pay down your 20, and then with another 60, let's put that in a high yield savings account right away. Just do that. Then you're going to make your contribution to your Roth IRA for this year. And I'm wondering if your full-time job offers a retirement plan. If it does, then we want you to start using that. If not, I think that what we would really suggest is that you would not buy a home. That is not important. That is not a thing that you should do. You should rent, and then we can run your cash flow and see how much money it will cost you to float your life and what could be available for your own retirement, maybe a supplemental plan. I think that buying would tie up all that equity and you lose access to it. Maybe wherever you hold your Roth IRA, you could just open up an account in your own name and just kind of play it really simple, like some money in the stock index, some money in a bond index, some money in a commodity index, and call it a day. But I'd really like to hear a little bit more about what it costs you to live your life right now before we made that decision. So, Mark, did you do that on purpose to line that up like that?
That is a coinky dink.
Coinky dinky. Fantastic. Okay. Mark, you want to answer this? Ken wants to know, is it a good time to invest in silver for my grandkids as a long-term retirement vehicle? No, that is not a long-term retirement vehicle. I love it when people ask questions about something that's already gone up, but 100%. It's like, would you want to do that? How about this for your grandchild? Let's just throw some money in crypto. Do me a favor. Put the money in a 529 plan. Let's call it a day, and that's that. If you'd like to get in touch with us, all you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's Jill on Money. Here's an email from Kathy. I'm 73, and last year I withdrew my first required minimum distribution from my 401k. Will I need to pay taxes this year on the withdrawal? Yes, you will, Kathy. You absolutely will. So Kathy is retired. Her Social Security check is her only income. So think about this. You're going to have Social Security. You tally up that income. And on top of that, you will take the income from your 401k. I don't know if you have a spouse or not, but you'll pay it whatever rate it is. So let's pretend that you are single. You probably pay 12% tax on that. So I will hope you have some money that is available to pay any taxes, but you know what? I'm sure you're fine. So she says, there's a we. So let's see. It depends kind of who your we is, what your tax bracket is. So she says, we value your opinion. We love being able to watch you on CBS. You're the best. Thank you so much. And God bless me. How about that, Mark? I like being blessed.
By God.
I need it. You know, I've been binge watching Grantchester because it's on Netflix, and it's like this vicar who's adorable. And I do it when I do my long bike rides. I now, because on Peloton, I don't know if you realize this, you do a long bike ride, you can use Netflix.
Right. So, and I was checking that out. So you're listening to Netflix, so you're not getting the instructor at all.
No, I got my own workout because I have the miraculous Samantha, my trainer, who's like programming me these crazy workouts that are very specific to my kind of training. And so sometimes she'll say you can do a Peloton for this, but other times she just gives me, I have an app on my on my phone that tells me the whole workout. This morning I did 1 hour and 45 minutes.
And it tells you the resistance and all that?
It tells you the output, right? So it's like what you're targeting for your output. Mm-hmm. And so I'll give you an example. So this morning, I'm sorry to digress, guys. Here, it's like I had like a 20-minute warm up, and then it was like in 4 steps, be in zone 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. And she gives you like the output, the 153, 135, and then she just does. So it's 1 hour and 45 minutes. I banged out 3 episodes of Grantchester. It's amazing. Anyway,
I tried utilizing this the other day. I wanted to watch some tennis, but then I realized, okay, I'm watching tennis. I'm no longer getting the instructor, so I need the instructor.
Well, you don't have any discipline.
I just need direction. I need to be told.
Well, that's why I have the direction, so it works for me. All right, Tressa says, love your advice on CBS Mornings. Oh my God, I'm talking to the 6 people who watch CBS Mornings. Thank God.
Might be down to 3.
Yeah, who knows? Okay, so I have money with my financial advisor's company for retirement. I'm 69. I'm curious, how much should I keep in my savings account at my bank as opposed to keeping the emergency money inside my retirement account, which of course I can access as needed? In my checking account, I keep money for a house payment and all other bills. I drive a 2009 car. I've got no debt. I worry about the markets taking a dive, a dump, not having cash easily available. This seems to be a constant worry for me, and I'm tempted to pay my house off too. No, please, Tressa, no. Okay, here's the thing. That retirement money is your slush fund, okay? I get that you hate debt, but if you're really worried about markets, just free up some more money so that you have 2 years of your actual expenses safely set aside, either in a high yield savings account, at your bank, or you can do it in some other way, but like keep some money in cash. Then let's tell your financial advisor that you're really worried about those ups and downs, and make sure that that person is directing you in a portfolio, in a retirement account that's consistent with that fear. But please don't take that money out. Please don't, because it's truly going to be loss of that safety net that you might need. So, she had put down 200 grand in cash and owes 130. So no, please trust us. We want you to have access to your money always. All right. Last one for today, Mark. Anne writes, should I convert CD investments to brokerage and stock investments? Here are the details from Anne, who is 75, and she says, my husband is 79. We're retired. We've saved all of our lives. We've got $3 million in a brokerage account, 1.4 in Roths, 300 grand in various CDs, which do mature at different times. I like that. That's like the laddered approach. Okay. So the question is, can these serve as our emergency reserve funds if needed? Yes, absolutely. Let me read a little bit more of the background. Our house and car are paid for. Our pensions cover our expenses. Last year, we brought in $120,000. We spent $118,000, which included 2 special vacations. Of course, Mark, she knew that you would want to know. One was a safari in Tanzania and another to Egypt. So cool. I love that. She does say, I don't think we're going to be traveling like that in the future. Aging is such a bummer. So we will probably have extra money in the future. I want to know, is it wise to keep that money in CDs or wiser to invest in the brokerage account? Note, I do like the feeling of security the CDs give me. I don't have so many years to wait for a comeback if a recession hits, if the market dumps. But of course, the returns in the markets are greater. What do you think? And
she doesn't have to wait for a comeback. The pensions cover the expenses.
I mean, first of all, if it makes you feel good, then let it be.
Right. Who cares?
Come on. No pressure.
Unless you want to like invest it for your kids or something.
Nah, let her have her nice fluffy CD.
Got $3 million in a brokerage account.
It's pretty nice, huh?
1.5 in Roths. So yeah.
I wonder what they did, and they have pensions.
For a long time.
They save for a long time, 75 and 78. Put your little head down on that CD pillow and relax. Get some sleep. It's all good. You don't have to worry. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show, where we take the mystery out of your financial life. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, where we are trying to help you work through whatever financial problems, issues, questions you may have. If you've got something going on, just get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us on the air live, all you need to do is check the box, and Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget you can check out all of our content that lives there. We've got a free weekly newsletter. We've got resources and videos. We also have my book, The Great Money Reset, which may be a good thing for you if you're contemplating a big change in your life. Okay, before we finish the program, let's get to an email from Nancy, who writes, I wanted to convert some of the money from my IRA to a Roth IRA to prevent future heirs from being subjected to the required minimum distribution. This is just a quick note from me, Jill. When your non-spouse heir inherits a retirement account, they have to pull the money out of that account within 10 years of the date of death. And the money they pull out would be pulled out at their tax bracket at the time. Okay, now back to Nancy, who writes, my financial advisor has recommended that instead of converting to a Roth, I could just withdraw the money as I wish for the heirs. I was just trying to avoid the future RMDs for myself or my heirs. I'm 71. Which is the correct way of thinking? Well, Nancy, without knowing how much money is in this account and also whether you have enough money outside of retirement to pay the tax due, in general, I do love a conversion, but I'm not sure I'd want you to soak up all of your available cash or money from an investment account to do this. So there is merit in both ways of thinking. It's just a matter of what else is going on in your financial life. So if you get back in touch with us with a few more details, I think I'll be able to better guide you in this question. Okay, that's it. That's the program. If you've got a question, all you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and check the box. Mark will arrange to get you on with us. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and web king, and we always ask that you lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.